Just near Potsdamer Platz is this amazing little place. The significant thing about it, it's behind the film museum. There's a roof. Wow, what about that for a roof? Held up with that giant sort of metalwork there. I'm back down at the Brandenburg Gate in the morning. The sun is in the opposite direction, so the horses and everything are all beautifully lit. It's Berlin Concert House. They're very fond of chariots in these places. Oh, on the top of here. It has a wonderful walkway inside. This little square is a pissoir, a bit like in Paris. It's probably quite modern, but it looks really quite old. The Berlin Wall is marked by this double line of stones all the way around, and here's a little sign indicating it at Checkpoint Charlie. And it goes along here, and then all the way down the road, and you could follow it for miles.
This is where the wall was. Yeah, good road. There's the corner. Yeah.
And here's another piece where it continues across the road. I'm riding a Trabi. This is where you come. Trabi World, Trabant Museum. Well, it just has a few old Trabants and bits out the back. It isn't very big. But, always sort of cool cult car at the moment. I think they do trips around as well. Trabi World. So you can have a tunnel around Berlin in one of these things. I'm not sure whether these actually move. I suspect they do. So this is a relic of the Berlin Wall and the ancient city wall underneath it. So this is where this section of the wall is, Topographie de Terror. The Terror Museum, and its admission is free. The Terror Museum is on the site of the sort of various Nazi institutions that carried out sort of horrific acts, and the buildings which were on that side have simply been flattened. But I swear unspeakable acts were carried out on the local population. Terrible. And the actual museum is inside that silver grey building there. So here you have the remnants of the wall, and in front of it you have this photographic exhibition of the rise of the Nazis and what was done in their name. It's well worth coming to see. This is a section of the what remains of the Berlin Wall. It's about 3.6 metres high apparently. I suppose it differed from one place to another. So this is very near Checkpoint Charlie. This Museum of Terror, as they call it. It's a formidable barrier to get across. And not only that, whilst it marked the boundary, on the eastern side there was in fact another wall, and between the two was no man's land, and it was during this, it was crossing this no man's land which was the difficult bit. That was when you were likely to be shot. There were a fair number of ways of getting underneath this thing by tunnel, and you can obviously find a lot about this on the internet. It's just fascinating to see. And on the photograph there you can see both walls and no man's land in between. You see pipes like these all over the city, different colours. These are pink, lots of them are blue. And the big problem with Berlin is the water table is only 3 metres under the ground, so if you're building an hotel or a big building with deep foundations, the water just floods in. So they constantly have to pump it out into the nearest river. And that's what these pipes are. And then once the construction is finished and the foundations have settled in, these pipes are all dismantled and taken away. Like these here. The river and the cathedral, Berlin Dom. Well, this is the old and the very new. There is a revolving restaurant in that wall up there, but like all of these restaurants at altitude, the prices are also at altitude. But it's worth going up for a view. Opposite the park is a sculpture of Karl Marx and Engels, and obviously still very highly thought of. Marx, lots of red flowers. I assume they're here from May Day last week sometime. But he's judging by shiny boots, there's obviously something about rubbing them, probably expect to bring you good luck. It's quite interesting because obviously an app goes with this. Speaking statues, it will tell you a little bit more about it, no doubt. There's a barcode there which you just scan, I assume, with your telephone, and it tells you a little bit more about it. DDR museum is down these steps, right on the riverside, and it is there. You can see it on the map. It's very difficult to find. There's the building on the right, are apartments and cafes, and this is in the sort of basement of the place. And unlike most museums, it is in fact open today, which is a Monday. Well, I've just been round the DDR museum. It's not really for foreigners. It's about changes in life in East and West Germany. Well, domestic life for the most part. So €10 or almost €10, then I wouldn't put it on my list. As you walk along the riverbank, various little avenues of trees, and suddenly this wonderful wisteria. These huge blooms. Berlin Friedrichstraße. This is the station where East and West met. Just in front of me is the river, which is the border. And this railway station was divided into two. Trains from West Berlin came in, and trains from East Berlin came in here. Very few people crossed from east to west. And those who did, they usually had families still in the east, so that their families would have suffered really badly had they not returned. And down the middle of the platform was sort of like a great metal curtain to tempt people from doing a runner up the platform. You know, people leaving from the east to the west, a new life, knowing that they'll probably never see their families again. But you needed a very special permit to be able to do it. Usually they were older people. Older people were of no use to the East German state. They were an expense, you know, paying pensions and doing no work. So they were the ones who were more likely to get out. This massive lump of concrete was a Nazi bunker. And it was converted into apartments at one time. And then abandoned and became, I think it was used for growing mushrooms, somebody said. But somebody has bought it. They couldn't get rid of it, but somebody has bought it. It's in the middle of Berlin. And built himself a penthouse on the roof. You can see those trees. It's particularly noticeable on that end. You can see them all there. Well, it must have felt pretty safe inside. I think this is a sort of Hitler Baroque or Nazi Baroque. Here's the Reichstag building. Here you can see the line of cobbles where the Berlin Wall was. Marker there. And it goes through this fence. And here is a great big chunk of it. There's some kind of wilderness and alongside. I don't know how you get into it. And this is the other side of it. But the whole thing is locked and it's all a bit of a wilderness. And yet nobody knows about it. It does become a silent, contemplative place. Just next to the German Parliament building on this fence, these white crosses to people who were killed trying to cross the Berlin Wall. Most of them forgotten now, but one or two still remembered, this one in particular. In 1953, crossing from east to west. The Berlin Wall wasn't built then. Well, there you can see the Brandenburg Gate behind me. Where I've just walked past are at least 20 police minivans, packed full of policemen. They're just getting out of them and getting their instructions, so I don't know what's going on. We'll watch the news tomorrow and see. Well, I've just walked down from the Brandenburg Gate through the Tiergarten Park. Oh, wonderful, wonderful park. Direct to the hotel. And there are police everywhere. Outside the hotel there are another 5 police minibuses. Just near the Egyptian, Russian embassies. Many embassies in these streets around here. Place like a fortress. Video cameras and spiky things on top of walls. So what it's about, I haven't the faintest idea. No doubt we will find out. Well, this morning, just as we leave it, the hotel, everywhere is on lockdown. Top and bottom of the street are blocked off, flashing blue lights everywhere. TV cameras. All because of this Rheinmetall conference which is taking place here in hotels full of people. Fancy Army, Navy and Air Force uniforms. Big burly blokes with earpieces in and bulging pockets all over the place. Unfortunately, one of the things I wanted to go and see I couldn't fit in, and this was this German spy museum, which looked very interesting. And it's near the Potsdamer Platz, which is there. This is the Brandenburg Gate, and if you just look down there, it says museum. So Potsdamer Platz and the Spy Museum is just there. So I'll probably have to go back again to fit that in. They have an overhead railway system here, which you can see just as you're going in. Runs over the middle of the street, here it is. Oh. There's too much traffic on the road, so the best solution they discovered was to suspend a train above the middle of the road.
You'll see it every so often as it weaves along the river.
Yeah.
There are dozens of guidebooks to Berlin, but this one I found particularly useful. And the lady there is in fact a guide. And that's what it covers. And lots of photographs and things to go and see.